ya nyi bi emfaso bia ya nkasa ye de ketu akwaje kese bia na wotwe awie ye nya ne ntie so ebi aba bedu afekura de ne eba ne se 14 ni nyina medu ya sa de bi kwo man mu ama o malo ye sekura esensi wi aka ho fa ne enti a ye sa de bi akwo nsem na ye bebre se ba ne se o man bi ti se USA se nipa yi menye won monsan monko mo man mu anasa ye de mo ko o man bi mu a so man bi beji woni a dia so no ogina ka se ye de ye beji sa nkrofo e opani
na minche chiefo in fact enya gana fo nyina na press conference ni nya kwanti bi ena journalist call on isn't she say mo call for ni bi sabi omo muska questions na was from buta but yes you better ya drink kakra said what for me and he said America sabi yani wo mu no or the country Ukraine flag yes you cried here ontimi en show se upu le jinkophobia kromo deportees omugu ye deportation center nti monjuom na enansa monjuom enan bibia nka ho I don't believe that it is like that but abambia wa ekwan of us cover the story and I say on person information bi oha or the beba and he said a day basis and Ghana enter into agreement with the United States of America. So Bakaya and check 2 months in an American government said countries are mobile and Ghana come. You know more visa 5 years visa crown or much or the started Ghana 2 months ago and honorable okudzeto ablakwa or me the committee chairman on foreign affairs and as State Department or America in your brush diplomatic brush our car said Ghana on port no canche Ghana government said American for companies wahab and the car ye di company yin chumka na wo jai say all by America ababeru abekeka sabi ebia visa sem or one no and the 2 weeks and America for started say obi a yema 5 years visa bia okroma bia free neko ebu or the country do can the reasons that America for the can part of the reasons was said so the deportees at the back na wanye na or be severe or no visa relations or bema visa restrictions or better visa or demand so things so no number of years of visa no demand or better so for 25 years ago and American president then I think Bush about 2 more 5 years visa but and say be and me say we okudzeto in America in some discussions and did not me share me say ebia one of the discussions on the table na say ye womo ebia ye di better ye no relations and once with regards to the visa troubles because affecting senior officials of government will be because you will be free and now if you say no name just try to get ye di nipa 14 bremo ye di mu go afie mu do ma ba monji na ye say ya mai bibia okay skata mo tonchen what next ukoji wo mu baye e dem run na da ya yet time taking it Ghana up to today of course and to 2015 or there about you know His Excellency President Mahmoud regime at that time and Roger Gitmo 2
no 2016
there about
2016
and the Gitmo 2 me no ka say Gitmo 2 no obi amfa na ni ehu sankofo ni and obi ato anche ba bia omoda and obi anche ba bia omoda and a prison bia no ha dom ko toye enti ye dom ko hin so odo ba Gitmo 2 for instance odumba statelet the gongopon ba ku ye Yemenis ba ku ye Saudi Arabian ye dom kom so min free ho and the government of that country says who free ho so what dimenjo and the Ghana didn't buy no you can't render anybody a wajin whole country statelet no and even with the Gitmo some of us raise the issue say the only way Ghana to me you must have either honorary citizenship on the person are given to the person, accepted, and now say woman nationality upon arrival. And yet immigration records what the blank sheet and the paper tassel anything the country nationality unidentified. And our anything government and then the opposition of the day at the time, parliamentarians at the time, Obian to me say, okay, I do humanitarian reasons, nationality. Status ben as we speak, I presume so me a Ghana for. In the same way, Oma would do Mubano. Yenya Timakasi be a Liberia for, a be a Nigeria for, be a Togo for near that. That's okay. You're an ECOWAS bloc member, founding member of ECOWAS, and a Ghana to your pro-independence, freedom and justice. It is said, but I say, or what the other African countries, and what sub-region not. I'm looking at two things. One, United States of America. So on Obi Kolutuma, they don't do transiting. They don't transit passengers. Let us listeners, anyone can say, America won't transit deportee because for fear of whatever could happen through the transit center. And he said, the ordinary American or the neighbor. So they New York deportation center. We don't know if we be a feel like they are not New Jersey. And now what about the mobile? That is how it is. Or the for flight on funding for Germany. Or yet transit to Europe and you obesity political asylum. What do you mean for them? Or the Nisi Holland, Amsterdam airport, then you find Pajan and Sata on American Timmy deport. No about the burden of Holland government. Flight in the buy Holland government better charge about 5,000 euros. And sign up Nipan with the asylum, like I say, a treaty problem. Or the Nipa Belgium are the same thing. The America for now suspect is only anything. The Nipan 14 to me from private jetting. Nipan 14 or no bar, or to move from plane back commercial jets and from Mukwamba direct to Accra. And one to me that or the top our West African airport, 86 citizens in now. And maybe another dream minimum said one. Or non-stop flight from New York to Accra Delta. 1, 2. Or non-stop flight from Washington to Accra. And also no. Or non-stop. And you do any say. Or ne Ghana be a can what them say. Okay, your flight to Madarich. Only a ECOWAS citizen. Me the moment blow. Now we bar. Transfer them. In this case, is a deportation in transit, which is accepted and done by every country. Deportation in transit, home ticket from the American government and extra ticket. And they on one American plane and whatever. And the Nipa no Domo one for Nipa 14. They will sit at the last end of the flight. Last end of the flight and on Dometina. American agents do mobile, either FBI or Secret Services or American National Guard for the Gomba. Omoda belt only other passengers, no mama 1 line or 2 lines, or matter pretty, Obianti says so that they keep them at bay at the back of the aircraft. Now flight in here, not Ghana authorities, immigration, police, any other national security for. Oma Kwaku share flight, and the airline said, open passengers no aircraft in now will be able to. Now Babeka 14 now Gomba non-national authorities akushia na maybe say at the time national authorities akushia American authorities na omdomba agents one the first thing they exchange so no more passports the passports are given to the pilot passports are given to the pilot now US agent no full flighting akon the pilot one waje passports or give here the first Ghana immigration officer when the crap passport, the Ghana immigration officer for certification. Certification need to count the number of people, any documents of the man. Paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, 4, immigration for the magic in you. Now, but some of them, they do not their handcuffs. And that is where the catch. See the problem is here. America for the truth will be handcuffs now. Some of them will couple with them, some of them will decide to own free flight in the so. Until they handcuff them and give them to Ghana. Not Ghana, so Jum, and to me besides the Kotoka International Airport. Have we noticed, say, nipa 14 no ye you mo pie mo di ban e kwan ban your tax you on pie obi for here and I receive more time in so that one entonche nationalities na omdom baye no Liberia ni Nigeria ni Togo ni Burkina ni se na ya de se de ye kan no dia na me hwe ani mu senka me okudzeto be kan so se ye kiro chia wo mu no why Nigeria ni ye man onward transfer in that case nya Ghana ka Nigeria America for the next to ticket say ye wo Virgin Eco ye Aska Eco and ye wo ye nya Ghana fly our Eco inkinko from airport ye don't go transit ye go bi akọ na Ghana ni na wo mu no na Ghana for wo mu no ya ma wo mu exit entry now crime ben do wo mu ba nowadays but drugs related crime. And I know what table American prison and American said on for ordinary Banukuma. And Ghana authorities, this question say, yeah, man, have a 20 jail sentence. So, name of say, yes, say, a immigration related issue, just say, the visa who, and now we need paper, and I know the deportation center and you're doing by any crime. And 20 men, you know, said, you're reading, say, yes, I see woman, you go do a military and I go my so what chain not I don't go. Now you just only not something now bother on drugs. You can't keep the person to humanitarian now you see a new what you treat the purpose. It is a lawyer be sorry. No Coco Ghana court say and conform be a macho against your right. They are right. You cannot arrest me and hold me if mere purpose of a deportation on one immigration status. Now the map third country and a second country say on Jimmy non-transfer and come country. That country no Gina would Jimmy Fanuko baby because when yes it's after of a refugee no acceptance in Ghana sign be. And they would hear him yeah. Miss Okudzeto say. And I don't think that journalist would say.
Miss Wahab nature said no na kofa court on Samo Bemu say nipa nemu 11. Lawyers the omayi court because he had the 3 pokwama 3 no one is saying so no the country I will free money enti oko US no na ye persecute no for say oka LBGT community no ho na Nigerian ba so story odiko say na nyina ye nim say omodiko di aduro no and then one Nigeria to Nigerian so dia wo kan say ono so na entokwa bi wo ho no mo ama police for bo na and he was warned say any day you obesi ho no omo bebo na ku no.
Thank you.
Eti ono so ye de ne konti we nyina no ne ye tie say lawyers say omo de omayi kokot no yetimi de kokot say ne wo ken
but omo ye allowed 100%. Now we say embimo campaign for my cancer intimi information so what they know what dia you must grant them one status. Into my visa question is that you go airport on first day he no die. They would look at 2 hotel and a hotel fee and a hotel and a journey and a man car grant transportation, accommodation, feeding, and then also pocket money called the upkeep fee. So the sign your mind dear. Now me check to see you see can you do better there. And you my document. You are inbound, inland. Online Ghanaian call them refugees or deportees inland or free north and now through Kumasi about we baby no dabontin. Kiampankoma wumu. But the Ajomo national status say you're a Ghana, you're an ECOWAS member. American forward non flight because Miss Okudzeto and Ghana from paying for. Obiano I did that version about June because of the American non-stop flight because ECOWAS in England, Ghana and the US then the flight in the look non-stop. It was trusty airport and not trusty aviation system and not trusty your migration authorities. Your one can ask them and one say it is a humanitarian. You can take some of us have been a translator with the mission. So we know what is called humanitarian. So what it means you will be asylum seeker deported on basis of seeker asylum our third country. And at third country and granting asylum. No deporting by second country. So what becomes of it means that you are granting the person status of asylum. You are granting automatically status of the asylum because you apply asylum or America. So we LGBT plus advocate and Yapanachino. America for Anjian because there is no basis, there is no confirmation. And they didn't go back to the country. Ontimi fa nipa ba ko na nto flight to end transit no. Uko say Trump say the American government so dey for Europe and nipa basic asylum. And no person punish you say won conquer Europe because it's a good destination into a go African country. What the new African country there? Then I'm saying that it is incumbent by the UN Charter, the Refugee Charter, UNHCR, all the regulations. You can't take the person out land or you receive asylum status. Oh baby, that country no the ban. Immigrant state. The immigrant state. America is immigrant state. Canada is immigrant state. UK is immigrant state. Australia is immigrant state. Three of these immigrant states, which US is one of the father laws of immigrant states. No one will deporting a refugee while accepting asylum status. Why accepting an asylum application? No, the name bro as a third world or second country. Now, Gina, when Timmy say any panel and country and say, when one swagino, or some Nigerian, and Tinuano, Bioneko. Uncle Dahi, Uncle Jahi, Uncle Didi. So when you time your man there, you might as well not have received, accepted them, give them back to the person or the country that brought them. And something that issue in war. Because the country, Mate himself, we did article from Maka or Wamawo. Even bringing them to the court. Or no call represent too much a human rights lawyer. And these are some of the things that some of us want to be involved. Because the judge is not hearing what is bringing them. How they were even transported into the country is also questionable. Yes, your father Christmas, that's okay. Ghana is noted for that. Treatment bed the Dima Liberia for Kwaji and voluntary repatriation. Women voluntary repatriation. Women deported. Deported means either in their handcuff or forcibly deporting them against their wish and their will. And it is a China. Nipane brain ya deneba, who shouldn't mean China say, what the narcotic police cells. That is completely wrong. And the country should come clean. And surprisingly, said, okay, yes, a parliament. Yes, indeed. This issue, Honorable Okudzeto ablakwa said, it was not for parliamentary administrative. What does that mean? Administrative meaning said it is the presidency where the decision was made possible, with him, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, at the middle. With the president, and agreed. This is it. So if it is administrative there, then go and tell me. Come and tell me and tell you and tell Ghanaian listeners, say, is it against the Foreign Affairs budget? Is it against Ministry of Interior budget? Is it against NADMU? And I say Ghana Prison Service and now Ghana Fire Service Ghana Service Fire Service budget. What budget are we going to use to take care of them? I hate now do more question. What is the man in first order in Babu Ashobaka just one tina? Banoko up a lavish place. We talk how died the Amano and one not cantonments. I said many about question. If they want to cantonments. Who could you down and say we deported? I had no bed, you have a pump and so Metna airport. You know, I'm because I'm in airport. And what exactly is the country doing with the US deportees? Much as I agree, sir, America will not do transit deportation. They don't do it.
Tiwemono, yen to me for a monk or tena baby fa conte say Canes and ye nim Liberia and ye see or ye say ye necra ye dasho Liberia camper or maymuno. When in Chesa, what can be said gitmotui and ne. Yemfa ye nim hu wo betonne so on ma wade Ghana ha wuwo so otihin ye hu ti se wogi ahoho bi se ya wuntumi meto wasawra me wo manumu ba bi obetena ne obedi sa ne mani nyina no you must cater for country a wobeji omo no sa na tie
exactly chese I mean sure bibi in the case of Gitmotu America fortified prisons of the whole entire United States. There be no American government in Ukraine. One woman to prison on land. Although to get more Guantanamo near only Cuba border, ensuring the prison war. Why did Obama break it down? Why did he close it down? Because that prison was classified highly risk. War front of American Union, our Iraq and Afghanistan and other places, any Kuwait fight in what is it? Baby, helicopter. I want to fly over the machines over the prison, a day across America, almost 500,000 a day. Dollars a day. Taking care of Guantanamo prisoners. And into Obama can say, the huge cost now are cost and the man Gulu. And was started with home country. But woman declare home country say free hand. Only the stateless ones, A higher boom by Ghana once, me say, country your president okudzeto swear oath of allegiance, or swear oath of secrecy. And also oath of office in Yamanema. Your oath of secrecy, is that what we took? Is that what we exercise? How come by the country has not been able to tell? That we don't bank or pony. That's why highly criminal and America for class intimidation now. Okoje the bio network in America for Jinaso. So women are either. Only a dash, only that ISIS, only Ansawa, only this kind of prisoners now. Only no rebels, terrorists, And it's about to come and when we have the same network, and when we have our problem, Libya, what would have happened? The country in woman go by, almost having a peace, solid in the country, in this uncle for own way. Yes, we know, or some people know say, Yamo, we know, and today the crowd were done any. Now, we have better Kuma, Nigeria, only ECOWAS in the Western Kuma years, 20-25 years. Ghana does not give her citizenship just like that. It's one of the countries in Africa with very difficult of issuance of citizenship. Edema Ubi. They don't do that. And to give me for a woman day. And it's all cover with Swaba. Also on Nigeria, where you wanted in Tinukusi asylum, Okosiki asylum. So Okosiki asylum, non America for 1G to what they bar. One agents on the bar, you must grant them asylum. You can't deport them. You can't keep them also in your cells. It is against international law. It's against the UNHCR law and all the chapters signed so far. So when you mean will be a asylum seeker. Near deporting a second world country, a second receiving country. Who to watch that chapter will such a Sanya Manate. Now Jenna also did not to sell. Wow, one for court. Lawyer Janata, who are they? Where are they? What are we talking about? But the at least 40, this is over. Ghana must be very careful with how we handle some of these things. Much as we have good rapport with America, we support say, only ECOWAS, no problem. But we must have a valid agreement say, they are transfer passengers. Transfer in transit into the airport, they will be transited to their country. Inland those Ghanaians among them, you release them to the family. Then South is done everywhere. When you what you be from American prison, then I want to the final corner of the American prison. One was done New York prison, one at that Washington prison, one at that Philadelphia prison. Now they never go to Sawama better. Do you think they are stupid? Because when you jump court, what did you 4 times a day, what did you 5 times a day, a draw upon them, you shall pull out. And so how far you are your prisoners. And how far you have your prisoners. How far in a James Fort, you share business. And two question the number 2 prison. What humanitarian are you granting? You can be a humanitarian country granting accepting deportees. No, China knows how to sell. What kind of international practices is that?
Nature say and here Mr. Wahab, you bet to me any problem was our papa ye we say yes akwaji nipa ne ye behwe omo na se omo charge omo boye ne se omo de bedu ye omo de yakwa akogum omo ka so omo je ye na afi omo asade ye ko enti se eba international community no kra se international court kra no a ya hwe ye besa akwaji manso abeto ye ho so wa asem we hu
say ya again say nipa ne se bi obi a ho ache who is already on the ground on floor no. You are not afraid to fall. One will tabi a biniho. And the Bushoni be no asabi. I will make you so then you call. But the point is, there were UN rep our car. Say Oliver Vomao, and I say, women lawyers, it's here. Then she rushed to UN rep in Accra. I want a petition, so Shiraj, because Shiraj is still induced a Ghana court. What do you go against what the government has done? Uncle UN rep. Non-represent, non-competition with UN rep. But these are refugees. These are people who have seen political asylum and etc. Nobody wants to know. From America. America deported from Goma Ghana. Ghana has arrested them and keeping them in American jail. And it's a serious issue. We don't do that. And young consult. We are all here. We understand it. We've been translators for several years with some of the world missions. And you said they didn't hear Juma. Liberia refugees by cross border. You're Roma Kotu. Yenny Bingiri refugees from cross Cote d'Ivoire in the 13,000. Arguably, we are trying to how many of them. Cote d'Ivoire Roma Kotu prison. Madam Pacho, what is a Cote d'Ivoire? Bingiri Roma Kotu prison.
Oh, and Rakra a minority fue. Ranking member deputy eko honomo ya chese baby a ye di omo atena kra no se contractor bi chese apartments a wosisi de man workers and we yi omo free ho ne ye de ama omo honomo ahwa a ho ye only say nsuo na osibi ni wo but dan no mutim ne de video edi tum na chese ho yara
go di wa ho mebo a
wo se
just na go di wa for dum chi omo no o man fo manko Ghana Burkina for a cross by her, no Burkina problem about it. Yet you may room quite. It's the same thing. It is under the international status refugee law. Wouldn't mean you will be our journey, the afternoon will be where the young so journey. America Samanjo, UFO, make American say, I cannot begrudge and I cannot speak against that by the practice of the US. And in a country, your friend soft bargaining spot was soft bargaining with Ghana. Ultimately, go in UK. British for Ebina, woman British also say you call your friend Rwanda. So no British deportees. How do they even respect it? British deportees, not only there also. That's how the British did. They were going to pay and they were prepared to pay to the Rwandese government. So for Kagame and create a safe haven. British government they found one control airport say one chiwomu for Kagame chiwomu there be almost two crew and we makeshift apartments at the Ama room. And it is anybody said on person of Nigeria for fear of Serbia imprisonment and Liberia for fear of imprisonment. And if the occurrence of Rwanda no yabida eventually nipa or survival. That does not mean to almost sorry to because seek asylum no. Sebi Nina Kroma Ghana has we're seeking political asylum than any other country in the history of Africa, as far as Europe is concerned. But here in political asylum status is very wahab. You need a civil war. Woman who seek asylum during Rollins time, no. How many of them? Not two, not three, no more than 200 people in an area. But then for your grantee woman, Nigerians, your friend is the Germans, they took more than 60% of Ghanaian refugees across Europe. I'm over Johnny, I'm a woman in the palm of Ghana. Women I see them in whom you didn't them. Women are almost all the new sites in Ghana. Germany and Holland, France and Belgium, these four countries, Ghana and the developmental agenda in terms of housing, Timmy. Mumu South Ghana for it will be outside Germany that one and every day and what they do, Papa. And sorry, it will be any Sebi. A woman, America for global battle. I am sorry, your friend, economic refugees. But Nippon man in South Sudan, the economic refugee. Only some few countries of the world, and Tokwaho, Syria, or now Canada, was a Metro Syrian refugees. Americans, German folk of Lebanon, and only the economic refugee arising out of a war. Ghana now will be our. But you're seeking asylum, and then the Ghana for UK. So I even include America, we are the Tinayasabi, or the first year in Qatar, I get a passport. Once one nationalize it, one formalize it, in citizenship in the status. Normal. It is how they make about the general. Okay, Papa. Okay, come on, place, my gamer. So I identify to Nigeria. I wish somebody can get reach out to me. Almost from Nigeria embassy. But Liberia and call Liberia embassy. I know so much mean. So also a Liberian there, or a Rapwa, or a Liberia embassy. I don't know if I'm Liberia embassy. So also a Chadian there. If I'm Chad embassy. Where Nigeria, if I'm Nigeria embassy, you don't go and keep them in a cell. You don't go and keep them in the military base. Natural will be quarter. Most of man for woman, Omiyare. Are their limbs and their legs broken? No. Let's do the right thing.
Mr. Wahab, anopay medawase papa na mede wasi eneso ebia yedase.
Namika hojema.
Onka so ho. Abusia ene a uti ye owura farouk Wahab ene ne no atwetwen enkomo no. Eba aman kita hodie mu a ninim de ewo mu. Ene wa me yate ase se baby aye keka kono ebi anke ye de ehu ne se papa ne ye aginipa dunan na yakwaje won ne ye de wo be hye kukumu a etiamra yaje won iso se ye ba wo se ye ba bi poso na se ye de watena eso ye se ya anyehwe ntina se akwomasika yi ya tewu ni wefo ogbomu bena no enu mu bi na wo se ye pe bi firi ne ye de ahwe woni ana se bibi wom ne ye nteye e beto ankomo no so onin sam so
e de ba na wa anyela obi severe or no visa relations obama visa restrictions obeti visa or the mouse so no number of years of visa no the man no obeti so for 25 years ago and American president then I think Bush about 2 more 5 years visa but and say be and me say we okudzeto in American in some discussions and did not me share me say one of the discussions on the table na say G woman maybe ya did better relations and once with regards to the visa troubles because affecting senior officials of government will be because you will be free. And now if you say no, just try to get ya the nipa 14 bremo ya the mu go fi free mu do maba monji wom na ya say ya mai bibia okay skata mu tonchen what next ukoji wom baye e dem rana na dafur ya yet time taking it Ghana up to today of course and it was 2015 or there about you know His Excellency President Mama region at that time and Roger Gitmo 2
no 2016
there about
2016
and the Gitmo 2 many can say Gitmo 2 no obi amfa na ni ehu sankofo nini and obi ato anche ba bia omoda and obi anche ba bia omoda and a prison bia no ha do mo toye enti ye dom ko hin so odo ba Gitmo 2 for instance odumba statelet the gongopon ba ku ye Yemenis ba ku ye Saudi Arabian ye don kom so min free ho and the government of that country says who free ho so what dimenjo and the Ghana didn't buy no you can't render anybody a wajin whole country statelet no and even though the Gitmo some of us raise the issue say the only way Ghana to me you must have either honorary citizenship on the person are given to the person, accepted, and now say woman nationality upon arrival. And yet immigration records on what the blank sheet and on the paper tasso anything the country nationality unidentified. And our G1 anything government and then the opposition of the day at the time, parliamentarians at the time, Obian who to me besides say, okay, I do humanitarian reasons, nationality, status ban on the world. As we speak, I presume so me a Ghana for. In the same way, Oma would do Mubano. Yenya Timaka say be a Liberia for, be a Nigeria for, be a Togo for near that day. That's okay. You're an ECOWAS bloc member, founding member of ECOWAS, and a Ghana to your pro-independence, freedom and justice. It is said, but say, or what the other African countries, what sub-region not. I'm looking at 2 things. One, United States of America. So Odobi Konituma, they don't do transiting. They don't transit passengers. Let us listeners, anyone can say, Yinti America won't transit in deportee because for fear of whatever could happen through the transit center. And he said, the ordinary American or the neighbor. So they New York deportation center. We don't know if we be a fella they are not New Jersey. And now what about the mobile? That is how it is. Or then for flight,